Mellissa Thomas here for Florida National News, coming to you from the Orange County Supervisor of Elections Office, where Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is here to announce Florida's inclusion in the ERIC system, which is the Electronic Registration Information Center, to streamline the elections process here in the state of Florida.
Election security obviously is important, but so is the integrity of our voter registration rolls. We want to make sure that the voter rolls are accurate. And one of the best ways to do that, I think, is for Florida to join the Electronic Registration Information Center, which is known as ERIC. And that's something that all these supervisors have been asking the state to do for a number of years. We have a lot of people moving into the state. We're a very dynamic state in terms of our population. What ERIC allows you to do, I think it's more than half of the states are in ERIC. And it allows the supervisors here in Florida, the Secretary of State here, to match duplicate registrations. So if someone moves from Michigan to here, they're registered both places. Obviously, you vote in one, but you can't vote in both. It also allows us to better identify voters who have passed away. We'll have access to, I think, the Social Security list for people that have passed away. What it allows us to do is keep the voter rolls accurate. What we're going to be needing the legislature to do is provide some additional funding. There's some initial startup fees that we'll probably have the ability to pay now. There's about a $1.3 million cost that's going to entail anyone who joins ERIC has got to send out a mailing every federal election cycle to eligible but unregistered voters. Well, obviously in Florida, because we're a bigger state, that's going to be more costly than some other states. So we anticipate about a $1.3 million cost. We're going to ask the legislature to do it. My sense is because they already authorized us to join, that there's enough of a sense there that would make sense. And I think also just the fact that all the supervisors really think that this makes sense for us. So that's what we're doing. And we think that this should be in place for list maintenance in advance of the 2020 general.
Supervisor Cowles, what are your thoughts on the implementation of Florida becoming a member of the ERIC system? Let's get your thoughts.
We're ecstatic. I don't know if you all could hear the prep when he announced it to us right before we walked in, and the hoop and hollering that was going on. This has been our #1 priority ever since the ERIC project was put in place. So we're extremely excited that we're a step closer. Obviously now we got to get the funding that he mentioned, and then the timeline to do it in advance of the 2020 general election. It will be more than just a name match. It will go down into date of birth, it'll go down to Social Security, driver's license numbers, socials. So there's a lot more than just name matching going on. But if there is, it'll come to us, and it'll be our responsibility then to verify it with the voter before we take action of notifying the voter that they've been removed.
ERIC is just a tool that we're adding to our process that is going to strengthen what we're currently doing. The due process has always been there, whether it's Amendment 4, whether it's always contacting the voter first before we ever make a move. And I'll remind you of this, they have the right to come in and talk to us. I think it's going to reduce the cost per voter, and it's going to have more benefits moving forward.
And if I could add one other point to that. So the governor mentioned that they are going to do the mailing to the eligible but unregistered voters, and that's where that 1.3 million cost is coming from. And just to let you know that under the construct of ERIC, you only mail to those folks one time only. So if you've already mailed to the people that cost the 1.3 million, 2 years from now, you're only mailing to the people who are eligible but unregistered who have come to your state since the last time you did a mailing. So it's not going to be a cumulative, ever-growing cost. It's actually going to continue to shrink over time.
So as we heard from Governor Ron DeSantis, today's a pretty big announcement for Florida to be included in the ERIC system. Florida is going to be the 30th state, the 30th member state in that system. And as he mentioned, the governor is seeking from the legislature $1.3 million to kind of get things started, particularly with the physical mailing out to confirm or bring eligible voters in that haven't registered yet. He sees this as a major plus. This is something that will increase voter registration here in the state of Florida. As we heard from several of the supervisors of elections during the press conference, the key is to continue that effort. There will be other costs involved, but they'll be much smaller, and it will be actually a decreasing cost as the system continues to do its work. But stay tuned right here at FloridaNationalNews.com as we continue our FNN Politics and Power coverage. This is Mellissa Thomas coming to you from downtown Orlando.